Let's talk about web application scanning with Nessus Essentials. I wouldn't say messages like this are common, but they aren't rare events either. A friendly independent researcher alerts you to a security vulnerability in one of your web applications. It can be jarring to get one of these messages, but don't panic. The motivation for this talk is really twofold. One is to provide a tool that identifies vulnerabilities and confirms that the remediation was successful. In the case of a third-party report, keep in mind that you will want to independently confirm the vulnerability before attempting remediation. Otherwise, it may be that your scanning tool of choice simply never recognized the vulnerability in the first place. Nessus Essentials is not solely a web app scanner, but it includes web application scanning features. It's essentially equivalent to Nessus Professional, but it is limited to scanning 16 IP addresses. You do need to register to obtain a license. There are a few other limitations, but they don't affect web app scanning. It's available for most platforms, including Mac, Windows, and Linux, and even FreeBSD. And there is a big drawback, which is that there's only one user account per install. This can be frustrating if you want to let others access the interface, but you can export and distribute reports. Nessus Essentials is a dynamic analysis security testing application. By dynamic analysis, we mean that the testing tools are interactive with a runtime environment, basically a running program. I'll mention other types of analyses in a moment. So some other tools that I've used in this category include OpenVAS, which is a free web application vulnerability scanner. It works well, but the interface hasn't evolved, and it feels a little clunky by today's standards. ZAP, or the Z-Attack Proxy, is made by the Open Web Application Security Project and is one of OWASP's flagship products. It's a great tool, but definitely has a steeper learning curve than Nessus. ZAP has an integration available in GitHub Marketplace, so you can kick off a scan when you make changes to your application. I really like that feature, but of course most of us aren't hosting our repositories on github.com. WebInspect, or HP WebInspect, which is now Fortify WebInspect, is a well-respected web application scanner, but it is very expensive. I've also used Parasoft's WebKing, which is now SOA Test, and it's a tool targeted at enterprise software development and is also very expensive. This is an acronym-heavy slide, but you may run across these terms and wonder what they mean. Static analysis essentially analyzes source code, looking for common problems. For example, I use Bandit as a static analysis tool for Python code. And I know some other people that are using Brakeman for Ruby code. Dynamic analysis we've already covered. Interactive analysis is fairly new and involves injecting sensors or monitors directly into the application code to perform self-analysis and detection during runtime. This would generally take place in a dev or test environment. I've not personally used any of these types of tools. RASP, or Runtime Application Self-Protection, is also relatively new. It essentially involves an application that can detect attacks on itself, log them, and optionally take defensive actions. This goes a step further than a web application firewall, like mod security, for example, because it's integrated with the application runtime. Software composition analysis analyzes the third-party libraries that an application uses and looks for known vulnerabilities. So for example, I use safety for Python code, and I know other people that are using things like bundler audit for Ruby code or NPM audit for Node.js. But that's about enough of the acronyms. Let's go on to the demo. So this is going to be in 4 parts. I'll show you how to download download Nessus Essentials, how to install it, how to set up a scan, and a little bit about how to interpret the results.